Hi everyone, I'm here today with a first impression of a new foundation to Sephora, or just a new foundation in general. It's the Giorgio Armani Maestro Glow Nourishing Fusion Makeup. And it has SPF 30 in it. I got mine in the shade 4. And if you look on the Sephora website, it will tell you all the different shades and what the undertones are. So this one is for, I believe, light skin with a neutral undertone. Obviously, it's what I have on right now. And it's a perfect match. I didn't even really have to blend it down the neck. So it's a great, great match. I am a little bit tan. I have self-tan. I've been in Hawaii. So I do have some color. So I'm not super pale, but shade 4 seems to work so great. So this retails for $64. It's a little bit more of a pricier foundation, considered high-end luxury, of course. And I did also use this Maestro UV Skin Defense Primer. It's Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 50. Now, this also retails, I believe, for $64. This is a new product as well. I got it when I was in Hawaii, and I mentioned in the demo, but normal sunscreen for my face usually tends to break me out or clogs my pores. It's super greasy. So I always look for primers or foundations that have SPF, especially for the summertime because I'm outside all the time, and anything I can use to protect my skin. And I am a person that wears makeup year round. So even if I go to the lake, I still put a little something on my skin, whether it's some sort of tinted moisturizer, a BB cream, a light foundation. So to have a primer that has a good SPF in it, I'm always looking for that. So I've tried this a few times. I do try it in the demo. It smells like sunscreen. So far I really like it. So I paired these two together, and I'm gonna read you a little bit about the foundation. It says it's infused with oil and pure pigments for a sheer coverage and a lasting glow. Now you'll see in the demo, I feel like it's not sheer at all. I feel like it has a really good medium coverage. I don't have any like concealer on my face. It's just the foundation, and I feel like the coverage is beautiful. So to me, it's more of a medium coverage foundation, not sheer. So it says the newest innovation from Giorgio Armani brings nourishment and glow to the weightlessness of Armani Maestro Fusion Foundation. It has a bi-phase elixir that provides a lasting glow, formulated with oils fused with pure pigment, and it is sheer coverage with SPF 30 protection. So again, I think that it's more of a medium coverage foundation. I will show you one half of my face with a brush and one half with a beauty blender. But if you want to see how this applies and how it works throughout the day, then just stay tuned. So I hope that this color matches. I got the shade 4 because I have the shade 5.5 in the Luminous Silk and then the regular Maestro one. And I don't know if I'm tan enough for the 5.5. So I purchased the 4 for when I'm not self-tanning. So the Sunscreen SPF 50 UV Protection Primer from Giorgio Armani is very liquidy. It comes in like a little squeezy tube syringe like that. And it does smell a little bit like sunscreen, but I kind of like a primer that has a decent sunscreen in it, because I find that most facial sunscreens kind of clog my pores, and I feel like I break out a lot more in the summer when I use those. So I try to find normal everyday makeup products that have SPF, and this is SPF 50, which is really, really great. So I've used this primer a few times with the regular Maestro, and I liked it with that. So we're gonna try it with the Nourishing Fusion Makeup. So I'm gonna shake this little baby up. It is 1 fluid ounce, I believe. And yeah, 1 fluid ounce. And it's also in the like little syringe bottle. It has like a shimmer to the bottle. I don't know if that's the bottle or if that's the foundation. I'm hoping it's not. Oh yeah, I think it's just the bottle that has that like shimmery effect to it. So I'm just gonna put some on the back of my hand. It's very, very liquidy. We're gonna start off with the beauty blender. And again, this is the shade 4. Okay, I have not tried this foundation yet. Ooh, it's kind of yellow. I tried to find the neutral toned foundation, which I love now on Sephora with the Giorgio Armani foundations. It tells you what undertone the foundation is, because before it was just numbers. And honestly, it's so hard to try to figure out what color you are by a number, and there's no name, and you don't know what shade it is. And at least for me, we don't have a lot of the higher end makeup brands at our JCPenney Sephora. We literally have, we just got Marc Jacobs. And we've had this Sephora for almost 2 years now. So I have to order a lot of mine online, and it makes it really hard when you have to like then go look up a bunch of swatches to try to figure out what color works for you. So when they have like light skin or like a light shade with neutral undertone or yellow undertone or pink undertone, it just makes it so much easier to find your shade. Okay, so this side we did with the Beauty Blender. There's definitely a glowy sheen to it. I do see some like redness peeking through there, so let's let it sit a little bit, and we're gonna go in with a brush this time, and we're gonna apply it on this side. It's very, very liquidy and runny, and it feels light. So this is just an e.l.f. buffing brush. We're gonna use this on this side and see. With these lighter consistency foundations, a Beauty Blender is going to soak up some of the product. So if you want the most coverage that you can get and kind of the best bang for your buck with the foundation, you're gonna wanna use a brush. I feel like it absorbs the product a lot less. You need less product. But I just love the way the Beauty Blender looks. It's just my preferred tool to use to apply makeup, especially foundation. So I don't mind using a tiny bit more product and being able to have the finish that the Beauty Blender gives. So it's interesting. I feel like the side with the Beauty Blender looks much more dewy and shiny than the side with the brush. Like especially in this area, I feel like the light is reflecting this a lot more than it is on this side. But this is like a very, I'm gonna take the brush and build it up. Definitely got a little bit more full coverage on this side. So we're gonna build it up, and then I'm probably gonna go over my whole face with the Beauty Blender just to soak up any excess product. This is a very wet feeling foundation. Like it looks very, very dewy. I'm going to take my Beauty Blender and I'm just going to press it in to make sure that I don't have any excess foundation just like sitting on the skin, because this is so dewy. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for glowy, nourishing, healthy, radiant skin, but not super dewy. Okay, so first impressions so far. Don't love how glowy it is. I have pretty normal skin, slightly combination. My T-zone can get a tiny bit oily at times, but this is just very, very dewy all over. I will do my under eye concealer, set my T-zone with powder, which is what I always do because I have to set my concealer. So we'll see if that like fixes it once I do the rest of my makeup. So I will check in once I finish up my face, but first impressions, the color is great. I think looking up close, it looks really beautiful on the skin. It is just a little bit too dewy for me at the moment. So let's finish up with the rest of the face, see if, you know, putting bronzer and all of that kind of helps it a little bit. It is 8:37 in the morning, so we will check back in as soon as I get some makeup on my face. Okay, so I am back with my makeup finished. It is 10:18. I did do, let's see, 10, just so you guys know, it's 10:18. I did go and blow dry my hair and do all of that fun stuff, finished up my makeup, so it took a little bit of time. I think it's beautiful. It definitely still has a glow to it. I did a tutorial for this eye look, so if you are interested in a tutorial, I will link that down below. It's using the new Makeup Geek shadows. So I filmed a tutorial for this. I did set my T-zone and kind of powder the rest of my face so that I could blend in my bronzer and stuff, because it was still very tacky or very like glowy and wet feeling on the skin. But once I set it so I could do my bronzer, I used a little bit of Hello Flawless. It really did blend, everything blended beautifully, and I think the finish is gorgeous. It still has a little bit of a shine and luminosity, but it's not like wet. So highly recommend setting it with some sort of face powder, whether it's a translucent powder or whatever normal powder you usually use to blend your bronzer. But I think you will want to use something to be able to blend any additional powder products on top. Otherwise, I think it could get a little bit patchy. So here with the check-in so far after I do my makeup, I love the way it looks. I love the color match. I love the finish. I love the like natural glow that I can see kind of peeking through. So far, so good. Okay, so I'm here with a check-in. It is 1 o'clock exactly, and I'm loving the way that this foundation looks. I'm in natural lighting. There's a window right here. It's a little bit bright. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. It is a little bit dewy kind of in the T-zone area, but you know what? I actually don't mind it. It's not greasy looking. It looks very fresh. It looks very like luminous. I'm gonna grab my mirror here so I can see too, because it's hard to see through the viewfinder. I notice along my nose there's a little bit of shine and kind of right up on my forehead. But other than that, it still looks really pretty. The makeup hasn't broken down at all. I haven't done anything too crazy or outside yet, but so far so good. I am gonna take my beauty blender like I always do if I see a little bit of shine. I don't have any additional product, but I'm just kind of balancing that in any place that might look a little bit shiny because I am about to leave my house and I'm not gonna go look crazy if it starts to get shiny. So once I blotted that, it seems to be really good. So I love the way that it's looking, and we'll check in a little bit. Okay, I'm here with another check-in, and it is 4:41. I've had this foundation on for quite a while, and in the last check-in I did blot with my beauty blender. There was no product on it, and since then, that was about three and a half hours ago, I have still no shine. It looks great on the skin. I love that it gives a healthy glow without being like oily or shiny, but it's not completely matte either. So I'll zoom in so you can see. It hasn't really worn off anywhere. Still looks really nice. So far I'm still loving this foundation. I highly recommend it if you're looking for like a luxury, really glowy but not overly glowy, long wearing foundation. I think this is really, really great.